All right, welcome back, Math 7 students. So today's con is going to look and sound confusing, but I'm here to take all that confusion out of it. I don't think it's that tough. But there are three things I'd like you to put in your notes. I don't ask you to take notes very often, so please do this one. Just have some place where you write this down, because when you write it down, you remember better. Identifying supplementary, complementary, and vertical angles. Well, it's important that you understand something about this. When they're talking about this, they're talking about two angles, okay? Two angles. And the first one I'll talk about is something called supplementary angles. Supplementary angles are two angles that add up to, this is the part you should write down, supplementary angles are two angles that add up to 180 degrees. If you don't know what 180 degrees is, 180 degrees makes a straight line, just one straight line. I'll get to that in a minute. Complementary angles, and this part I want you to write down as well. Complementary angles are two angles that add up to 90 degrees. So again, complementary angles add up to 90 degrees. Two angles add up to 90. Well, now vertical angles. Vertical angles are a little different. They don't add up to anything in particular. Vertical angles are another name for them. You'll often see this, is they call vertical angles opposite angles because they're two angles that are opposite, on opposite sides of each other. And I will get into that as well. In fact, speaking of getting into that, let's get into it right now. Let's do our first problem right here. What is the relationship between angle A and angle B? So here is angle A. Angle A is this little one right here, which you'll notice is on this side, and angle B is over here. Angle A and angle B are the exact same angle, only they're on opposite sides of this line right here. Angle A is on this side, angle B is on this side, so they're on opposite sides from each other, so yes, these are called vertical or opposite angles. Okay, that's what vertical angles look like. Okay, let's take a look at what complementary angles look like. So here it says, what is the relationship between A and B? And I'm going to move this dot back down there. You'll notice that angle A is right here, and angle B is right here. And if I take a look at those two angles and I kind of put them together, you'll notice they go this far. And you'll notice that this already tells us this is a 90-degree angle, which means this side on this is a 90-degree angle. So A plus B, when I put those together, that makes a 90-degree angle, okay, right there. So those are called complementary angles. So that's what a complementary angle looks like. Let's look at what a supplementary angle would look like. So here's this one. You'll notice that right here is angle A. Angle A goes from right here all the way over to here. And then angle B starts from here and goes to here. If you follow it, it goes all the way from here. Oops, I can't really do it that way. It goes all the way from here to here. You'll notice that from C to A, this whole thing makes one straight line, which is 180 degrees, going from one side of that straight line to the other side of that straight line is 180 degrees, or what is called a supplementary angle. So that's what a supplementary angle. Now, con does have on here too, none of the above. And none of the above means that it's two angles that don't add up to 180, that don't add up to 90, and are not opposite of each other. So let's look at what that might look like. So down here, I want you to look at these two angles, A and B. If I could get this to, there we go. On this one, you'll notice that angle A goes from here to here, angle B goes from here to here, but you'll notice that this here is not a straight line. So it makes an angle bigger than 90 degrees, but not quite 180 degrees. So it's something between 90 and 180. Well, that's not a supplementary angle. That's not a complementary angle. They're not opposite of each other. They're not perfect opposites, meaning they're the exact same measure, but opposites of each other. So this is what's called a none of the above. That's all you're doing today, guys. Hopefully that makes sense to you, and do well on your thing, and I will see you at Google Hangouts. Bye-bye.